What if one drama changed everything? Not just for fans, but for the two people living inside it. You press play, maybe late at night, maybe just out of curiosity, and suddenly you're pulled into a world where every glance feels intentional, every silence feels loud, and every moment between Lee Min-ho and Park Min-young feels a little too real. Be honest for a second. Have you ever watched a drama and thought, wait, this can't just be acting? Because that's exactly what happened here. It started like any other production. Scripts, rehearsals, camera angles, retakes. A team working behind the scenes to create something fans would love. Nothing unusual, nothing unexpected. But then something shifted. Not in a loud way, not in a dramatic, obvious moment. In small ways, subtle ways. The kind you only notice if you're really paying attention. The way he looked at her, not just when the cameras were rolling, but in those in-between moments. The way she laughed, not the scripted kind, but the kind that slips out naturally, almost like she forgot she was being watched. Now pause. Think back to the first time you saw them together on screen. What did you feel? Was it excitement, curiosity, or that quiet thought in the back of your mind? These two are different, because they were. Their chemistry didn't feel manufactured. It didn't feel like something built overnight. It felt easy, like they didn't have to try so hard to convince anyone. And maybe that's where everything began. On the set of City Hunter, their characters were already written to be emotionally connected. But what made people talk wasn't just the script. It was how naturally they fit into it, like puzzle pieces that weren't forced together. Tell me, do you think chemistry like that can be faked? Because fans started noticing. Clips were replayed, scenes were analyzed, moments were slowed down, zoomed in, discussed, and still, no one could quite explain it. It wasn't just what they did, it was how it felt. There's a difference. Anyone can act out a romantic scene. That's part of the job. But not everyone can make it feel like something is happening beyond the lines. And that's what made people curious. What made people watch a little closer? What made people start asking questions? Behind the scenes, things were just as interesting. You know those little interactions actors have when they think no one is really watching? The relaxed smiles, the casual conversations, the comfortable silence? Those moments started to stand out. Not in a way that screamed relationship, but in a way that made you wonder. And sometimes, wondering is more powerful than knowing. Imagine being on that set, long hours, emotional scenes, repeated takes, and in the middle of all that, you find someone who just understands the rhythm with you, someone who makes the work feel lighter. Do you think that's where real connections start? Because if you think about it, some of the strongest relationships don't begin with grand confessions or dramatic moments. They begin quietly, in shared time, in understanding, in presence. And maybe that's exactly what was happening. Fans weren't just watching a drama anymore. They were watching something unfold, slowly, naturally, and almost invisibly. But here's the thing. At that point, nothing was confirmed. No statements, no headlines, no official words. Just feelings, just observations, just that growing sense that something might be there. And somehow, that made it even more powerful. Because when something isn't confirmed, your mind fills in the gaps. You notice more, you feel more, you connect more. Tell me honestly, do you think it's better when love is obvious, or when it's hidden just enough to make you curious? As City Hunter continued, their scenes became more intense, more emotional, more layered. And with every episode, that question grew louder. Is this still acting? Or has something real started to slip through? And maybe the most interesting part of all this wasn't what we saw, but what we felt. Because even without confirmation, fans across the world started believing in them. Not because they were told to, but because something about their connection felt undeniable. And that's where Chapter 1 leaves us. Right at the edge of something. Not fully revealed, not fully understood, but impossible to ignore. So now I want to ask you, if you were there at that moment, watching everything unfold without any confirmation, would you have believed they were falling for each other? Or would you have told yourself it was just really good acting? Be honest, what happens when something that felt unspoken suddenly starts getting noticed by everyone? Not just fans anymore, not just quiet observers replaying scenes late at night, but the public, the media, the people who turn maybe into what if it's true? You remember that feeling, right? That shift, that moment when watching Lee Min-ho and Park Min-young stopped being just about enjoying a drama and started feeling like you were witnessing something real unfold in real time. Because at some point, it wasn't just about their scenes anymore. It was about everything around the scenes, the interviews, the behind-the-scenes clips, the way their names kept appearing together, even when the cameras weren't rolling. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how rumors don't just appear out of nowhere? They grow. From small moments, from repeated patterns, from tiny details people can't ignore. And that's exactly what started happening. Fans began connecting dots. Moments that once felt random suddenly felt intentional. A glance here, a smile there, a level of comfort that didn't quite match just co-stars. And slowly, the whispers began. They look too close. There's something going on. This doesn't feel like acting anymore. At first, it was easy to dismiss. After all, actors are supposed to look convincing. That's their job. But this felt different because it wasn't just about what happened on screen. It was about what leaked through off-screen. Think about those behind-the-scenes moments again. Not the polished ones meant for fans, but the raw, unguarded ones. The ones where you catch someone laughing a second too long, or looking at someone a second too softly. Those are the moments that make people believe. And belief spreads fast. Now imagine being in their position, every move watched, every interaction analyzed, every small detail turned into a headline. Do you think that kind of pressure makes things clearer or more complicated? Because while fans were getting excited, something else was happening at the same time. Silence. No confirmation, no denial, just silence. And silence, in moments like this, can say a lot, sometimes more than words ever could. Tell me, if there was really nothing going on, wouldn't it be easier to just say it? Or do you think silence means they were trying to protect something? Because the more they stayed quiet, the louder the rumors became. Articles started appearing, speculations started spreading, and suddenly what began as fan curiosity turned into a full-blown question. Are they dating? Not could they be, not what if, but are they? And once that question enters the public space, everything changes. Now every interaction matters more. Every appearance together gets analyzed twice. Even the smallest detail can become evidence. And fans, they were watching closely. Some were excited, some were skeptical, some didn't want to believe it until it was real. Where were you? Were you already convinced at that point, or still unsure? Because here's the interesting part. Even without confirmation, their connection continued to feel natural, unaffected, like whatever was happening between them wasn't being forced by the outside noise. And that made people believe even more, because fake things usually crack under pressure. But this, it didn't, at least not yet. And then came those moments that made everything harder to ignore. Subtle interactions in public settings, energy that felt different when they were together. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, but enough. Enough to make people look twice. Enough to make people talk. Enough to turn whispers into expectations. Now imagine being a fan at that exact moment, refreshing pages, reading updates, watching clips over and over, waiting, just waiting for one thing: confirmation. Because once something is confirmed, it becomes real in a different way. No more guessing, no more maybe, just truth. But here's the thing about truth. Sometimes it doesn't come when you expect it. Sometimes it builds slowly until one moment changes everything. And that moment, it was coming, closer than anyone thought. But before we get there, I want to ask you something. Do you think relationships that start under this kind of attention have a fair chance? Or do you think the pressure begins to shape them before they even fully form? Because as the rumors grew louder, as the curiosity turned into anticipation, as the world leaned in, waiting for an answer, something real was already taking shape behind the scenes. Quietly, carefully, and maybe a little fragile. And that's where we pause, right before everything shifts, right before rumors stop being rumors, right before the moment fans had been waiting for finally arrives. So tell me, at this point in the story, would you have wanted them to confirm it? Or did the mystery make it even more exciting? What do you do when something you only felt suddenly becomes the truth? Not imagined, not guessed, not analyzed through clips and slow-motion edits, but confirmed. Because that's exactly what happened with Lee Min-ho and Park Min-young. After all the rumors, all the silence, all the moments fans couldn't quite explain, the news dropped. They were dating. Take a second and think about that moment. If you were following closely, you probably remember exactly how it felt. That mix of shock and excitement, that feeling of, I knew it, that rush of going online just to see if it was really true. Because suddenly, everything made sense. Every glance, every smile, every quiet moment fans had noticed before, it all connected. And just like that, what once felt like a beautiful possibility became reality. But here's the question I want to ask you. Why did this confirmation feel different from other celebrity relationships? Because celebrities date all the time. Relationships get announced, talked about, and sometimes forgotten just as quickly. But this stayed with people. Why? Maybe it's because fans didn't just hear about it. They watched it grow. From the very beginning, from the first scene, from the first interaction, from that first feeling that something wasn't just scripted. You weren't just told they were in love. You believed it before anyone said a word. And that kind of connection, it hits deeper. Now imagine what it must have been like for them to go from private feelings to public confirmation, to know that something personal, something real, was now being shared with millions of people. Do you think that makes a relationship stronger or more fragile? Because once it became official, everything changed. The mystery disappeared, but in its place came something else. Attention, a lot of it. Fans celebrating, media covering every detail, people watching even more closely than before. And for a moment, it felt perfect, like a real-life extension of the drama everyone loved. A story where the actors didn't just play lovers, they became them. Tell me honestly, did you feel happy for them? Or did a part of you worry about what would happen next? Because if you think about it, there's always a shift after confirmation. Before, people are curious. After, people have expectations. They want updates, they want moments, they want proof that everything is still as perfect as it seems. And that kind of pressure, it doesn't just disappear, it builds. But in the beginning, it didn't feel heavy, it felt magical. Fans replayed scenes differently now, not as fiction, but as something that mirrored real life. Every hug felt more meaningful, every look felt more honest, every emotional moment felt real. And suddenly, their story wasn't just entertainment anymore. It became something people were emotionally invested in, something people cared about. Now let me ask you this. Do you think knowing they were together made their scenes better? Or did it change how you saw them completely? Because for many fans, it made everything more intense, more emotional, more unforgettable. But here's the part people don't always talk about. When something becomes real, it also becomes vulnerable. Because real relationships aren't edited, they don't have perfect timing, they don't follow scripts, and they don't always end the way fans hope they will. But at this point in the story, none of that mattered yet. Right now, it was just about the moment, the confirmation, the excitement, the feeling that something rare had happened, that two people who created something special on screen found something real off screen. And for a while, that was enough, more than enough. But let's pause here for a second, because this is the kind of spotlight, or heavier to manage, even simple things. And that shift is often the hardest part. Not the ending, but the in-between. That space where nothing is confirmed, but everything feels different. And that's exactly where we are now. Right in the middle of a story that once felt like a dream, but is slowly becoming something more realistic, something more human, something less perfect, but maybe more honest. And as that realization settles in, one question starts to form in everyone's mind again. What really happened between them? But the answer isn't simple, and it's not fully visible from the outside. Not yet. So we pause here, at the quiet turning point, before clarity, before closure, before the next chapter changes everything again. And now I want to ask you, when you notice something changing slowly, do you try to hold on to what it was? Or do you accept what it's becoming? Be honest. At first, nobody wanted to believe that something had changed between Lee Min-ho and Park Min-young. Because once a story has been confirmed, people don't expect it to reverse into uncertainty. But reality doesn't follow expectations. It follows circumstances. And circumstances were changing quietly in the background. No announcements, no interviews addressing it directly, no public statements explaining what was happening. Just distance. And distance is one of those things you can't always point to immediately, but you can feel it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment where someone didn't say anything different, but you just felt something had changed? That's what fans started to experience. The energy around them wasn't the same as before. Not worse, not dramatic, just different. Less visible interaction, fewer shared moments in public, a shift from presence to absence. And when presence fades, imagination fills the space. People started asking questions again, not loudly at first, just quietly. Are they still together? Did something happen? Why don't we see them anymore? But without answers, questions grow. And when questions grow, rumors follow. Now here's something important to understand. In celebrity culture, silence is never empty. It gets interpreted, sometimes correctly, sometimes not, but always interpreted. And in this case, interpretation became speculation. Fans began revisiting old clips, rewatching interviews, analyzing timelines, trying to understand if there were signs they missed earlier. Do you think people see the past more clearly or just differently when they start looking for answers? Because hindsight has a way of changing everything. Moments that once felt romantic start feeling uncertain. Scenes that once felt intimate start feeling like acting again. And memories become layered with new meaning. But here's the truth. Nothing official had been said. No breakup statement, no confirmation of separation, no public explanation. Just quiet distance. And that's often the hardest kind to interpret, because when something ends loudly, you understand it immediately. But when something fades slowly, you're left wondering where exactly it changed. Was it one moment or many small ones? Was it intentional or just life happening? Because both Lee Min-ho and Park Min-young were still actively working, still focused on their careers, still moving forward professionally, still existing in a world that didn't slow down for personal stories. And that's where reality becomes complicated. Because sometimes relationships don't end with conflict. Sometimes they just don't stay in the same place anymore. And when two people are constantly moving in different directions, staying connected becomes harder than it looks from the outside. Fans, however, don't experience the distance directly. They experience the absence. And absence creates space for theories. Some believed it was just schedules. Some believed it was privacy. Some believed the relationship had quietly ended. But without confirmation, everything remained uncertain. And uncertainty is uncomfortable because it doesn't give closure, it gives questions. And those questions linger. Let me ask you this. Do you think fans sometimes hold on to celebrity relationships longer than the celebrities themselves? Because emotionally, fans invest in the story, not just the individuals. And when that story becomes unclear, it feels incomplete. That's why even years later, people still talk about them, still revisit their scenes, still wonder what really happened, still feel attached to a version of a story that once felt certain. But life doesn't always give clean endings. Sometimes it just moves on quietly, and so did they. Not in a dramatic way, not in a public breakdown, but in a gradual shift back into separate paths. Careers, projects, new chapters. And the story that once felt like it was building towards something permanent became something remembered instead of continued. But here's what makes it interesting. Even without a clear ending, people still feel something when they think about them. That says a lot, because not all stories need closure to matter. Some just need impact, and theirs had impact. So now we arrive at the edge of the final chapter. Effortless, unforced. And even after everything that happened off-screen, those on-screen moments never lost their impact. That's the power of connection, real or perceived. It leaves a mark. Now, looking back, their story didn't need to be long to be meaningful. It didn't need a perfect ending to be remembered. It simply needed to be felt. And it was felt by millions. Some fans remember it as a love story. Some remember it as a rumor that became real for a short time. Some remember it as just another chapter in the lives of two actors. But almost everyone agrees on one thing. It was unforgettable, because it blurred the line between fiction and reality in a way that made people believe, even for a moment, that something magical was happening behind the scenes. And maybe that's enough. Maybe not every story is meant to last forever. Maybe some are meant to show us what connection can feel like, even if only briefly. Because life moves forward, careers continue, new projects come, new stories begin. But some moments stay frozen in memory, like a scene you can replay in your mind without pressing play. So if you think about it, their story isn't really about whether it lasted or ended. It's about how strongly it made people feel while it existed. And that's why people still search for it, still talk about it, still feel something when they see their names together. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, why do you think some on-screen couples stay in people's hearts longer than others? Is it the acting, the chemistry, or the timing of when we watch them? Because sometimes it's not just about them. It's about us watching at the right emotional moment in our lives. And that makes the experience personal. So as we close this story, there's nothing left to confirm. No rumors to chase. No updates to wait for. No hidden ending to decode. Just a memory, a connection, a moment in entertainment history that fans still revisit when they want to feel something soft, nostalgic, or emotional. And maybe that's the real ending, not closure, but remembrance. So if you enjoyed this journey through their story, their chemistry, and everything it made us feel, you already know what to do next. Like the video, subscribe for more emotional K-drama stories and edits, and tell me in the comments, did you believe in their chemistry too?